Okay, sounds like it's working. All right, everyone. Welcome to the back to school webinar for Three Rivers Region for this new school year. I know most of you, I hope most of you know me at this point. My name's Stephanie Taylor. For those of you who I don't know yet or haven't gotten to meet in person yet, looking forward to a great school year of all things unified. A couple housekeeping things. First off, thank you right now. I'm going to give a shout out to Tori and Bob because you had your cameras on so I can see some faces, which is really nice as a presenter. So thank you. Makes me feel a little better than talking to a screen of just black boxes. Takes me back to those teaching during COVID days. So we all know how fun that was. So if you could have your camera on, that'd be cool. If not, I understand. Try to keep yourself muted. If you are unmuted, I will probably mute you unless you're asking a question. If you do have questions, drop them in the chat. Or you can wait till the end. There will be time for you to ask anything. If it's a really urgent thing that you need to unmute and ask during the slide, that's okay. If we have everyone doing that, it'll get a little chaotic. And finally, please ask questions. At the end, that's what I'm here for. There are no bad questions, so please let me help answer anything that you may. I'm gonna keep on. I don't know if anyone else is still trying to join the chat. Okay. Here's our agenda for today. I'm gonna introduce our team for those of you who don't know the whole Three Rivers team. Some of you might know a lot of us, but we do have a new regional executive director. A lot of you might be familiar with Andrew Fee. He is no longer our regional executive director. He got promoted to a VP position, and we have a new member of our team. I will introduce her in a minute. And then we're going to go over just some basic things about UCS in the state, the different things that we require, and new things that are coming for this year. So first off, here is your Three Rivers Region UCS team. It is me and Eric. We are adding someone else to this roster soon. We're hiring for a sport and UCS director to work primarily with Pittsburgh Public Schools, but as you know, a lot of us, we work as a team here in our region, so they would be doing more than just Pittsburgh Public, but that would be the main focus. I work with almost all of the counties in our region. We still don't have schools in Fayette or Greene County yet, but we do in every other county in Three Rivers. So that's pretty cool. Eric works mostly with Allegheny County schools, and not all of them. I do work with some of them myself, but him and I try to divide and conquer, especially during bocce season. He'll also be helping out with Unified Flag Football. So if your school is one of the schools doing Unified Flag Football, that's Eric. Now for the rest of our Three Rivers team. You may recognize some of these faces here. So we have Jessie Merkel. She's one of our sport directors with the community side of things. Chase Prodfit's also a sport director. Cameron Ruby is our regional administrative manager. So if you have any athletes who are doing community activities with Special Olympics, she probably helped with medical or with paperwork or something like that. And she also supports at a lot of our events. Jenny is our new regional executive director. She took over Andrew's position. She began her role in July. So we're really happy to have her. She's fantastic. Jenny, if you are on the call and you want to say anything, hang on a second. She's having trouble getting into the Zoom. So 1 second, I'm going to just mute myself and give her a quick call. If I can find All right, everyone, we have Jenny, our regional executive director. She's on the phone here, and she's just going to say hi to everyone.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. I apologize that I am not on the Zoom link where you can see my face, but I am very much looking forward to working with each and every one of you, and just wanted to express my gratitude for dedicating your time and effort to Unified Sports. We are so grateful and really looking forward to kicking off the school year in a good way.
Thanks, Jenny. All right. I'll let you go.
Okay.
All right.
I'll keep trying to hop on.
Okay. I have somebody else saying that they're having issues with it, saying it's not valid. Did anybody else on the call have that? No? Okay. Let me just try one final thing. I might try to just resend to everyone. So sorry if you get another email, but it might just go to the ones who aren't able to get in. Sorry about those delays, everyone. My apologies. But so that was Jenny. She is, you'll see her around just like you saw Andrew around last year. Gabe Davis is a former UCS athlete. He competed at Freedom Area High School when he attended there. And he is now a youth ambassador working with Special Olympics PA. He's gone and worked with a lot of our opening ceremonies as an MC. He is just a fantastic hype man, and he is super proud to be a part of Special Olympics. So I could probably guarantee you will see him around at some of our events, getting the people going. He was at the Youth Summit last year. So if you were at the Youth Summit, you probably saw Gabe. He shared his story about being an athlete and just how proud he is to be an athlete. But he's also a really hard worker, and we're proud to have him on the team with us. So Gabe's on our team here as well. The last name you'll see, that's Pierre. Pierre is a cop in Monroeville, and he is our regional deputy director for the Law Enforcement Torch Run. That's another big fundraiser that it happens with the police across the state, and he leads that charge here in Pittsburgh. All right, now regionalization. As I mentioned, we are the Three Rivers region, but our state as a whole broke into 9 different regions. We are officially, all 9 of these regions are named. Again, proudly Three Rivers out here. But if you want to take a second and look at this map, while I respond to emails of people who are worried that they're not getting in, these are the 9 regions. We work a lot. If we do anything regionally, like with track and field or with bocce, we typically will pair up with the Northwest region. That has some of our Mercer County schools that a lot of you may have competed against at a regional event. Also, it includes some of the schools up near Erie. My colleague Doug Chusey, he works with those schools, and those Mercer schools are now under his direction instead of mine going forward. All right, I think I got the people who were stuck back in. The next thing we wanted to let everyone know about is our goal is to transition our students who are competing in UCS, whether that's in bocce or track and field, getting them into the community in some way. Special Olympics is year round. A lot of people might say, oh, when are the Special Olympics? That's not really a good question because they're all the time. Their practices are every week. There's competitions probably every month. We have big events that happen. We have our summer games in June, and we have Fall Fest in November, but we have smaller competitions throughout the year, pretty much ongoing throughout these 3 seasons. So if you take a look at the chart, the signups are pretty far in advance. So fall sports are starting now, but they had to be registered for this between May and July. So right now we're going to be pushing the winter sports signups because that window opens in October. So you'll be hearing more about that from me soon. But I just wanted to put that on your radar that all these sports here are offered in our community setting here somewhere in Three Rivers region. Allegheny County, Beaver County, Westmoreland, there's a lot going on there. I know Butler too. We are spread across the whole region, Washington, but you can cross over counties too. So if one county offers something that you don't see in your county, you can go and do that or encourage the athletes to go do that as well. This also could be for you if you want to coach in the community. I'm a bocce coach in the community because I see all of you getting to coach, and I got a little jealous. I said I want to coach too. So I started to do it, and it's been a lot of fun. It's really rewarding. So if you want something a little bit more in addition to what you're currently doing, feel free to reach out about becoming a community coach as well in any of these sports here. So these are our fall and winter sports. This link will take you to our sign up page, but it's not live yet because it's not October 15th. This is our spring sports, and I'll link to our regional website that kind of will show how the seasons work. And if you have any questions, contact info for Jesse and Chase and Cameron if you were trying to get connected in that. All right, next we have a little rundown of UCS in Pennsylvania. Last year, our region had about 100 schools. That includes Pittsburgh Public as well. And we are also K through 12. So it's not just high schools. Even though this is a high school webinar, we did have some elementary and middle schools that were part of our programming, and we count them in that number. So last year, we were at 420 schools, which is awesome. Again, about 100 of those were here in Three Rivers. So snaps for being part of that, about 100. There were a ton of competitions around the state. Interesting with the numbers, there's more partners than athletes. So just take a look at that there. And our fundraising was off the charts this year. You guys crushed it with the Cool Schools fundraising. For the state, we raised over 540,000 through Cool Schools. And in Three Rivers, of that 540, we raised 278. So thank you guys so much for that hard work you put in. And I'm sure you've seen it, but if you didn't and you didn't hear, our Pittsburgh Plunge was the first fundraiser in our state to raise over $1 million. So that was a pretty big milestone that we hit, and we would not have hit that without you and without the Cool Schools fundraising initiatives. So thank you. Bring that energy again this year. It'll be a lot of fun. All right, so now into the things that kind of just the bare bones of what UCS is, those three components, and then the super important reports that Eric or I might be bugging you about 3 times a year. So those 3 components, you all know sports is one of them. We are a sports organization. However, being a part of a Unified Champion School, there are 3 components to that. Sports is one of them, which we call Interscholastic Unified Sports, or IUS. That's bocce or unified track and field at the moment for us here in our region. Inclusive Youth Leadership, or IYL, that would be your club. And this year we're pushing hard to make sure these clubs are solid. Looking through our report from last year, some of the clubs weren't super strong sounding. We want to strengthen that. And we really want these clubs to be a powerful tool that your school uses to promote inclusion and to promote these whole school engagement activities. Whole school engagement activities is the 3rd component, or WSE. You'll probably see us using those abbreviations. And I know in education, it's like alphabet soup. Everything has an abbreviation to it, or an acronym. So we do the same here. This year, we're asking schools to have 4 whole school engagements completed throughout the year. You don't have to do them all at once. And there are some that are kind of turnkey. There are things you're already doing. A pep rally, fans in the stands, spread the word. Cool Schools. Right there, I just named 4. And we're asking you to do 4 throughout the year. Now for these reports. I get it. They're not super fun, but they're super important for us to receive the funding. We're going to ask you to do a mid-year report. That will come directly from me. That will come from my email address, probably in my weekly email. And if you don't complete it right away, I'll probably follow up with you individually, like one-on-one. Oh, hang on, my dog might, hold on. Hey, stop. So sorry. Hang on. Someone knocked on the door. Okay, anyway, the first report is the mid-year report. That will come to you in December, and we're asking that to due by January 6th. It will be a Google form. And again, it'll come from me. That is the same exact questions you'll be asked in the end of your report. The end of your, stop, chill. The end of your report will come probably in May. And that'll be the same thing, Google form asking you what you've done from January to June. My goodness. Okay, hold on. Oh my gosh, okay. They would not leave my door. The third report is called the UMass survey. The UMass survey will come from the University of Massachusetts. And if your school's email blocks outside emails from coming in, you may not receive it in the first round or two. So we get weekly reports from the University of Massachusetts letting us know what schools have completed it, who haven't opened it yet. And then I can send it directly to you if you're in that category. So that will not come from me unless it has to. Again, these are just super important for us because this is how we get our funding to provide you guys with the coaches stipends, with equipment, with our time to come out and support at the different events, whether that's bocce or track and field or cool schools or all of those things. Now, when it comes to these three reports, we only need one per school. It doesn't have to be one per person who's like working or coaching with the group at your school. So if you want to set some time aside to work with your UCS team, maybe get all the coaches together, your special ed director together, your club leader together, and work on it as one. So you're not submitting multiple things and everyone's doing extra work. We only need one per school per report. So 3 total reports for the year. Okay, this year, things that are new. As I mentioned earlier, 4 whole school engagements. In the past, we used to say 3, but we really want to raise that bar and really provide some quality inclusive activities for our schools across the state. We created this little streamlined cheat sheet of like a planning document for you to use. It's very simple, just fans in the stands, spread the word, and cool schools or a fundraiser of some sort are the ones that we ask that you do every year. So those are kind of, you can plan whatever you would like for those events, but fans in the stands is simple as let the whole school know when your game is, when your match is, invite them to come out. You could invite the pep band or cheerleaders. You could make posters for the hallway. You could make announcements leading up. And then on the day, make that game really special. You could do senior night. I've seen some schools do that, which is fantastic. So pick the date that you want, and when it comes time to reporting, you already know when you did that activity. Spread the word. Every year we provide materials to the schools, a banner and some giveaways. Maybe that's the bracelets or stickers or t-shirts. I know last year those things came in late and we do apologize for that. This year our goal is to get it to you well in advance of that March 1st date, because International Spread the Word date is March 1st. And again, our apologies that that did not come in until after March 1st. This year, our goal is, again, way before then, so you can use them on that day. Cool Schools fundraising, it doesn't have to be coming to a plunge. I know our region's pretty big and the plunge is downtown. So if that's not feasible for you to make, we understand. But shout out to the schools who do travel quite some ways to come be a part of that. We had Union and Mohawk coming down from way up north, Ligonier Valley from way out east. We had Ringgold coming up from, Southern Washington. So people do travel far and wide to come to this event, and it is a lot of fun. There's a DJ. Last year we had perfect weather and we had a dunk tank. So it's just a really fun day. And you can save the date. It's Friday, February 21st. And that will be coming up at the end. I have a whole save the date slide, but letting you know when Spread the Word Day is. That final 4th whole school engagement activity is kind of dealer's choice. You can, if you already have something that you do, go ahead and do it. If it's a pep rally, if you have a unified sports day, if you have an awareness week or something along those lines. Another initiative this year, because I mentioned earlier, we're going to be reaching around 500 schools this year. Our goal is to surpass 500. Throw a little "we're part of the 500 schools" party and let us know how it goes. Celebrate within your own building, being a part of this milestone number for us. Another thing that we're asking for schools, if you've been around for at least 3 years, we're asking that you, we're requiring some fundraising on your behalf. We cannot operate or function without that support and that fundraising coming back. It's just, I mean, as a nonprofit, we need fundraising to keep on going. We do have some grants, but that's not all. So we need you guys to help, and we have a lot of very motivated and excited schools in our region. Like I said, last year, you guys crushed it with schools. So we're hoping again that this year can be another knock it out of the park kind of year. From us, we are going to be communicating with families a little bit more. I know it can be a little bit, information might not always get into the hands that we're hoping it gets into. So whether that is reaching out to the parent, reaching out to the special ed director, reaching out to the coach or the liaison, we're trying to find the best ways to streamline our communication. And a lot of times it's reaching out to the families, especially of the athletes, to try to get them involved in the community. So if on that SOPA waiver, which most of you know is a required piece of getting their name onto the roster, the parents have a choice to opt in to us contacting them. If they opt out, we will leave them alone. We're not going to bug them if they say, please no. But if they say yes, then we will send them updates on community sport registration, of upcoming events in the community, different things that we could try to get them more involved, especially this younger age group of athletes and partners that are in the schools at the moment, but we would love to have and welcome into the community as well. All right, so our state goals for the year is adding 90 new schools. Those 90 are not coming all to Three Rivers. That would be a lot. So that would be spread across the state. Having all of our returning schools do Cool Schools fundraising in some way. Have everybody fill out their reports. Please don't make me come hunt you down. And a pro tip, the sooner you complete them, the fewer emails you will get from me, because I will keep on trying to reach out to make sure that we get that number as close to 100 as we can. And finally, we want at least 92% of our schools completing all 3 of these components. There are some years when schools are at 2 of the components. Maybe they don't have a good club. Maybe they weren't able to get their team up and going. But this year we are really trying to push to make sure schools are operating all 3 of these components here in our Venn diagram. So for the fall, some things to focus on is getting your club up and running, registering for the youth summit. And right now we have about 8, I'd say, registered so far, and starting bocce recruitment. Most of you are returning coaches or liaisons. You know your students need a PIAA physical. If they had a physical done for fall sports, that's fine. That would carry over into winter and into spring. If they didn't, they're going to need one. And we do have a free physical day coming up. It is in 10 days from now. It is September 21st. And that is also on my save the date slide. So I will bring that back up. Now the youth summit. The theme this year is going for gold with inclusion. Since it was an Olympic year, Paralympic year, we are connecting all those dots together and having our youth summit be themed around the Olympics. So we're looking for you to bring 4 students. That would be 2 athletes with intellectual disabilities or developmental delays, preferably with good communication skills, because we want them to come to this summit and then go back to your school as a good leader and begin planning some of these different activities for the club and for the different whole school engagement activities you're going to plan for the year. Your school can also bring 2 adults. That would be the liaison. A lot of times that might be you, the person on the call right now. But if it's not you, then making sure that that person knows to get registered. And then somebody in special ed leadership. We would really love to see a special ed director come to this. We would really love to see a transition facilitator so that we can share some of those opportunities in the community. I know a lot of schools might have more than one coach, more than one sport. And ideally this year, we're trying to spread the knowledge and the wealth around. So that would be preferred if we could try to get at least one liaison and at least somebody from special ed leadership to attend so we can share this message with them. Last year, if you did come to our in-person youth summit, you may have noticed how tightly packed we were in that room. We sort of maxed out capacity down there. It was a lot of fun. It was a great day, but there's just in the reality of it, we can't fit everyone down there again. So we have a second space and a second date. The first summit is going to be on October 16th at the Treveni Center. It's in Monroeville. So a little bit closer for some of those Eastern region schools. Maybe even some of those northern schools who might just want to hop across the turnpike to come in. The second summit is at the Loft Conference Center, the same place as last year. That is on Halloween. So please register only for one of those two summits. You can choose. Now, if too many people are signing up for one or the other, we may have to shift some people around, or I might let you know as we're getting closer, hey, we can only have 5 more schools join at the Loft. Everyone else is going to have to come to Trevani. So please register sooner than later. Please get your transportation secured because I know every year, a lot of times that can be a barrier. Please don't let it be a barrier. We're trying to send things out as far in advance as possible. So go ahead and get registered for that. This year we're doing t-shirts. Last year I know we did not do t-shirts, but we're back to t-shirts again. So you'll have to know the sizes. And if you're not 100% sure, do your best guess. So just a heads up with that. I have the link to the registration here on the slide. So when I send this out afterwards, you can just click. It's also in the email I sent you all today. So you can go back and check that as well. Finally, some of you participated in Unified Fitness. Some of your students did last year. It was a pilot, so don't think you're behind the ball if you're not only hearing this for the first time. This is a 12-week program that an athlete and a partner pair up and work together to exercise. You don't have to do anything as the coach, as the liaison. You just let us know if you're interested, and I can connect you to the right people to get those students that information. There's an electronic guidebook that's sort of kind of self-paced for the students, it's kind of like a workout plan. They'll go, they'll work out, they'll record what they did. And then here are some of the results from the pilot from last year. A lot of the respondents improved their weight, strength, balance, and endurance. And over 70% answered yes to learning about fitness ability, learning how to use exercise equipment, having a partner motivate them, and feeling comfortable working out at a fitness facility. So we're trying to move the needle with health and fitness. So this is an option if your school was not involved this past year. If you would like more information, just let me know and I can connect you with our Healthy Athletes coordinator. Her name is Charlotte. So let me know. It doesn't have to be right now, but we can get you more information about this. All right, finally, some save the dates. I went over some of these already, but here they all are, one slide, everything's all together. So community sport registration is a window, October 15th through November 15th. The 2 youth summit dates, the registrations are due 2 different days just because they're 2 different dates for the summits. But get those done sooner than later, please. That would really help me out. Complete your first whole school engagement by December 1st. So you have some time. It's only September. The mid-year report in January there, and then the Cool Schools plunge date is already set. It's Friday, the 21st of February. Now, on the right side here, MedFest. When I mentioned earlier about getting a free physical, this is what I was talking about. There's no insurance needed. if a student needs their PIAA physical, they can just come down to the Montour Sports Complex. It is where the Riverhounds practice. It's right in Coriopolis. So it's pretty nice facility. There's also going to be a bocce tournament happening that day, so they could come get a physical and watch some bocce happen. If you have any students who are interested, please make sure they register just so we have an idea that they're coming. Finally, the Uncathlon, sorry, is a fundraiser that is a unified fundraiser. So we have corporate partners team up with different athletes and they compete in 10 different events and they're scored on those events. And at the end, there's a trophy and there's a prize and it's a lot of fun. It's a good day. That is on Sunday, October 6th at Peters Township High School. Registration for that is probably going to wrap up soon. I'm not 100% sure on the final date for that, but if you have anybody who is interested or want to put a team in for that, I would register sooner than later. All right, now, additional resources. Our UCS website on specialolympicspa.org has a lot of material on it for you to use. We have an updated youth leadership guidebook, again, linked on this slide. I'm not going to click on it, but if you get a chance, go ahead and check it out. The Generation Unified webpage has a lot of short little videos talking about inclusion, talking about the different components, talking about just friendships made. There's a lot of different categories. If you can go and find a video, if you're looking to have an event or put something on your morning announcements, this is a great place to go check. Again, all these things are linked, so when I send it out, please just take whatever time you'd like and click through them. And we made it to the end, and I want to just say I apologize for some of the technical glitches. Some of you weren't able to get in at the beginning, and then we had a lovely neighbor knocking on the door, making the dog bark, so I apologize for all those things. But I am going to let you unmute or put any questions in the chat. Since I was running this here, I have not been able to see the chat. So if you did put something in there, I am going to look now and see if I can find if there were any questions. If not, go ahead and unmute and ask. Oh, we have a birthday. Happy birthday, Buffy. Awesome. Students asking what the lunch will be at Youth Summit. Great question. Typically, the last couple years, we've done Jersey Mike's for the Youth Summits, and we have done Chick-fil-A for the Bocce Regionals. They're easy. They seem to be kind of like a pretty decent hit for the youths. So that's probably what we will continue with. But if it changes, I will let you know. I'm going to stop the recording also. So if you didn't feel comfortable asking any questions,